Big news in college football today. The playoff committee has approved a 12-team playoff. If you're as shocked as I am, yeah, you're really shocked. First of all, thank you so much for joining me on this channel, not Bobby Durkins. If you're brand new here, most likely you are because it's a new channel. Hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications. Also, check out the link below to where you can support the channel and so on. So, college football has been a 14 playoff for a while now. I remember the days when the idea of a playoff was just absolutely out of the question. Like you would bring it up to someone and they would tell you, man, that'd be great, but it just seems like the higher ups in these conferences and NCAA, etc., just had absolutely no interest in even discussing it. It was always put off. It was always kind of discounted. I guess that's the only way that I can put it. And what is so interesting about this is this comes out of really nowhere. I wanted an 8-team playoff. So, you get your conference champions of your major conferences, and then you have some at large. Okay. And I thought that would be a really good plan. It wouldn't be such a big playoff to where there would be so many people in it to where you're going to have some really bad games. I mean, I do want you to step back and think about this. We've had some teams left out and some teams included. All right. And the teams included they've been blown out. I mean, think about it. Last year, Cincinnati was really beat up. I mean, they were really beat up by this Alabama team. And it's kind of interesting. I mean, I honestly, if you can tell, I am shocked. I'm really shocked that this is happening. I'm very happy. I'm very happy about it, but it's just, how did 12 teams just boom? There's 12 teams. There's not 8, there's not 6, there's not, it's 12. But anyway, I'm glad it's good for college football. I do have a sneaky suspicion that someone somewhere is trying to discourage these super conferences. Because if you have there's two arguments that you could think of. If you have a super conference, you could possibly do the playoff within the super conference, but you would have to exclude everybody who's not in the super conference unless you extended some type of special invitation. The next thought, and really this is my primary feeling. I think that whoever it may be is trying to discourage these massive moves. Now, if anybody follows Bobby Durkin's page, or heard me talk about some of these subjects on Pigskin Pete or Mark Rogers, you know that I am not a fan of Ohio State and Southern Cal playing as a conference game. That makes absolutely no sense. I'm one of those guys, I enjoy new things, but I also enjoy tradition. According to what it is, I enjoy tradition. And so for me, it's kind of like Andy Griffith. I love Andy Griffith, but I enjoy the black and white version of it versus the colored version. Well, okay, let's be honest with ourselves. Don Knotts was gone, so that totally changed everything, except for a few episodes. But I mean, it's just it just has that traditional old time feel. And so going back to college football, I mean, do you really see Texas in the Southeastern Conference? Missouri doesn't make sense. A&M doesn't make sense. Oklahoma doesn't make sense in it. Clemson makes sense in the SEC. That's an argument that's easy to make. Florida State makes sense in the SEC. It really does. If you're going to keep territories. But Southern Cal and UCLA in the Big Ten does not make sense. And I'm wondering, which these are, from what I understand, they're done deals, that, it's going to happen no matter what. But I wonder if there's some type of move to try to discourage that, and this could be one of them. Either way, we have a 12-team playoff. So what do I think is going to end up happening? Well, of course, the idea of there's only 4 teams that's going to be able to get in, and that's all we can have. And there's going to be some really deserving teams who really got hot late in the latter part of the year, and they're going to be left out. That's not going to be gone. And just to be blunt, if you come in at number 13 and you're mad, hey, I get it, because we and all human beings in some form or another believe that for the most part, believe that something is unfair to them, okay? At the same time, if you come in at number 13 and you're crying foul, at this point, I don't care if it was even Clemson. I love my Tigers, but if Clemson was like, hey, we got to number 13, it's like, dude, used to a national championship wasn't even between number 1 and number 2 for decades. And then we got to a place where a computer was deciding number 1 versus number 2. And then, man, we thought we were on the cutting edge of civilization when we got 4 teams for a playoff. I mean, this complaining of outside of 12 teams, it's going to be actually laughed at more than anything. But the likelihood of a great team being left out is out the door. If you can't make it in the top 12, even if this was Clemson, I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to hear anybody arguing or complaining. So what I think is going to happen, aside from that, I really think that we're going to see some blowouts. Of course, you will see some upsets. I think that's a given. There's going to be some upsets here and there, but historically, if you look over the 4-team playoff, the Pac-10, Pac-12, whatever they are now or will be, they have done terrible in it. Ohio State, until the past couple of tries, so they had the national championship that they won, and then after that, they didn't fare too well against Clemson. Then they got revenge. I was interested. Notre Dame has not done well in the playoff. Of course, Clemson beating the crap out of them 30-3 or something like that in the national championship we won with Trevor Lawrence. And, of course, getting hammered this past season. I mean, let's just be honest here. I mean, it doesn't. I say past season. They didn't play this past season. Season before last. I'm sorry, y'all. My mind is. I still can't believe this has happened. But yeah, I mean, they haven't done well. So the teams who have done well really is obviously Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State has won a national championship, but they've had their struggles here and there. But Clemson and Alabama has consistently, throughout the entirety of this thing, done very well. And then you just have some. Oklahoma didn't do well at all. Every time Oklahoma gets in the college football playoff, I know that's 2 coaches ago, 1 coach ago, and I'm a big fan of Brent Venables, but he's got his hands full in Oklahoma. He really does, and Oklahoma's been able to score, but they haven't been able to stop anybody. So that will be something new if they can do that. Then again, I wouldn't put it past him. You're just going to have to give him some time to get the defensive players in there. But Oklahoma hasn't done well. And we look at Cincinnati. Once again, Cincinnati, what's so funny, if it was anybody else, you'd been like, yeah, man, they didn't play well at all. But because it was Cincinnati and they were going up against Bama, everybody kind of gave them a pass. But it's going to be really interesting to see them expand it to 12 teams. Once again, I'll take it versus 4. But that is very, very, very weird. I'm sorry. You can tell if you watch me, or if you even, some of you actually know me, I'm not like this that much. Like, I always have something to say, and I'm kind of shocked. There's so many thoughts I have swirling around in my head of how this came out of the blue, because it did. At first, we heard 2026. And now 2024 is becoming more prevalent. And if for anybody who likes to pay attention to a calendar, that's only 2 years from now. So that's really, really nuts. All right. Well, look, I'm going to let you go. I'll stop rambling about this. Again, subscribe if you haven't already. Of course, Bobby Durkins he's already done a shirtless response to this. He was so excited he forgot to even put a shirt on. And I think he's trying to figure out if that will qualify for an OnlyFans page. Bobby, he's nuts. He's a guy, I worry about him sometimes. But anyway, check out the link below if you want to support the channel. Of course, it'll be the Bobby Durkins channel. The Bobby Durkins, if you want to become a Durkins family member, you can click Colonel Clink. Anyway, click the link below and, support Bobby Durkins and not Bobby Durkins. Well, got a playoff. Let's just see how it goes. Thanks for joining me. I'll see y'all next time.